Okay, you can start by reading Math on the Job, page 110. This is part of our new chapter, which is on statistics, and we're looking at 3.1, which is mean, median, and mode. So read 110. Question 1, what does this number represent? Does it mean each stylist worked for 142 hours? No. This would be the total number of hours worked divided by the number of stylists. Then question 2, could any stylist have worked as much as 400 hours? Why or why not? Okay, probably not. Could they, ideally? Okay, given only the number 142 hours as an average, they could have, but it's very, very, very unlikely because we have, that would be working 20 hours a day for 5 days of the week, the whole month. Okay, so yes, it is possible. But very unlikely. Three, could any stylist have worked as little as 4 hours? Could they have worked 4 hours that month? Yeah. Yes, what are some reasons for that? Yeah, they could be sick. What else? Kelsey says lazy. No, they could be on vacation. They could also be like an intern, something like that. So vacation or an intern. Good, then you can go ahead and read the Explore the Math on page 110 and fill in the following definitions. You can check your definitions and just make sure they're the same as the ones on the board. Then we'll move on. We're just going to try a few examples to get us started on mean, median, and mode. The first question is asking us to find the mean of these numbers. So we'd add up all the numbers and then divide by the number, or how many numbers there are. So there's 5 numbers, so divide by 5, so that becomes 50 divided by 5, which equals 10. The next one, same idea, go ahead and try it on your own. So you should have got 60% for number 7. Then the median for the next one here is the middle number. So here they're already ordered for you, so you just pick the middle number. For number 9, they're not in the correct order, so we need to reorder them from smallest to largest. So we can go 1, 3, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 18. And then we pick the middle number, which is 9. So there's 4 bigger and 4 smaller than 9. Then the mode, we want to pick the most commonly occurring number. So here we have 2 26s, so 26 would be our mode. Example 1, we have somebody operating a farm. They have their years here, and then the yield in bushels per acre per that year. So first we want to go ahead and find the mean yield of the crops. So to find the mean, we need to add up all these numbers and divide by how many years there are. So there's 11 years there. So we're going to add them up, divide by 11, and the mean you should get, remember that mean is represented as x bar, so x with a little line over top, and the mean should have been 38.9. The median is the exact middle. So we need to organize them again from smallest to largest, and then pick your middle number, which should be 36. C, does the data have a mode? If so, what is it? So here we see that there's actually 2 numbers that are the same. There's 2 36s and there's 2 40s. So we would have 2 different modes, 36 or 40. Which one would you use to represent his yield? So which do you think would be the best? Would you pick the mode? Okay, why would you not pick the mode? Because there's 2 different values, okay? So we definitely wouldn't pick the mode. Then either of the other 2 could be used. Okay, you could pick the mean. Now remember that the mean does include outliers. In this set of data, it doesn't look like there's one number that's way higher or one that's way lower than the rest, so the mean is a good representation. But say one year he didn't plant anything and he yielded 0. That would be an outlier, and it would bring down your mean. So the best measure of central tendency could be mean or median in this case. All right, let's look then to the next example, example 2. They have this store in Lethbridge, and these are their total sales for each day of the week. We want to figure out how much they sold on Saturday so that the mean is $800 per day. So remember that to figure out the mean, we would add up the total sales divided by the number of days. So here we have 6 days. Now we don't know what Saturday is, but we could figure out the whole rest of the total. And the rest of the total adds up to $3,767.50. Okay, so our average we're looking for is 800. So we can set this up as 800 equals 3,767.50 plus whatever he earns on Saturday. So I'm going to let S be my variable for Saturday and divide that by 6. Now we just have an equation that we can solve for S. So what do I need to do first here to get S by itself? Times by 6. Good, you always want to move what's on the bottom first if you have that. So we'll times by 6 on both sides. That means our 6's here cancel, so we get 6 times 800, which is 4,800, equals 3,767.5 plus our S. Okay, now we need to get S by itself, so we subtract 3,767 from both sides. So you're left with $1,032.50 is how much he needs to sell on Saturday. That would give you an average of 800 for the week. Okay, then let's look here at activity 3.1. To do this, you're going to need to go to the student lounge. And on the student lounge, it gives a list of different people in this class, how long in distance and time it takes them to get to school. We want to calculate the mean, median, and mode of this data. So go ahead. So I had a good question when we were looking through this. Do you use the driving distance or the walking distance? Now we're going to take whatever they would normally do, because some people can only drive to work. Me, for example, it would take me days to walk all the way to work. Whereas other people, they would never drive from where they actually live. So just take the one that would be most common. It's easiest to organize your information in a chart like this. You can have their name, the distance, and the time, and then go ahead and on your own calculate the mean, median, mode, and then we'll talk about which is the most useful. Make sure you save your work because we're going to need it again throughout the unit. Okay, so you should have your mean, median, and mode all copied down. Which do you consider to be the most useful? Now the mode, so far with the data that we have in our class, there was no mode for distance and there was a couple modes for time. So definitely not the mode. Now the mean, there are some outliers. For example, my time that it takes me to get to school, 40 minutes or 63 kilometers, those would both be outliers. So those drastically raise the mean. So probably the median is probably the most useful in that case. Now make sure, again, you save your work because we're going to need it later on. Last but not least, mental math and estimation, page 115. No. Linda loves music. Over 4 months, she downloaded 29 songs the first month, 42 the second, 50 the third, and 63 the fourth month. What would be the mean number per month, and then the median? So we're trying to find the mean and the median. Go ahead. Okay, you can check your answer on the board. It's probably easiest to round off your set of values before you start, and then taking your mean is easier, and your median is the middle number. So you should have got approximately 45 for both of them. You can go ahead then and start your assignment, which is page 119, number 1, 2, A and B, and 3.